You are listening to the Lawyer Stories podcast with host Benny Gold. Lawyer Stories was founded in July 2017 on Instagram and is an expanding global network of lawyers and law students sharing their personal journeys to the noble profession of the practice of law. Join us on this podcast as we dig deeper into these stories and hear from lawyers and law students from around the world in all areas of the legal profession. Here at Lawyer Stories, we believe that every lawyer has a story. What's yours?
Welcome to the Lawyer Stories podcast with Benny Gold. Today we welcome back our good friend Travis Hoechlin, CEO of RizeUP Media, physically located in California, but helping clients all over. Travis, how are you?
Good, man. Thanks for having me back. Excited to be here.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's great to see you. I do want to say, on behalf of Lawyer Stories, like a big thank you for all of your support along the way, sponsorships at events. Like we love having you guys at the events, and all your work. And I know that if anybody comes to me and says, "Hey, my website, I need digital marketing, I need a website," I'm thinking Travis and RizeUP. You guys do great work. So on behalf of Lawyer Stories, thank you so much for everything. It really means a lot.
Oh, no problem, man. We appreciate being able to partner up with you guys, and we're big fans first and foremost. So appreciate
Thanks,
it.
man. I appreciate that. And of course, I think by the time this is released, like we'll probably be through 7 games of the World Series. But I wanted to get, as a baseball guy, you're a former player, right? Like you played some ball in college, maybe?
Yeah. Well, 100 years ago it feels like, but yeah,
100 years ago. All right. Well, now, you could move on to co-ed softball. I love softball. So,
that's right.
what do you think about, you got the Dodgers? Are you Dodgers fan and the Yankees or what?
Yeah, I'm an Angel fan. I mean, I grew
Okay.
up a Dodger fan. My dad was an ER doc, and so he was the stadium doctor, not the team doctor, but he was the stadium doctor. Gosh, for like 15 years. So we went. I grew up going to Dodger games all the time because he
Yeah.
was the doctor on call for the stadium. If someone drank too much or got hit by a foul ball or whatever, he was the guy that
Really?
fixed them up. And so
I
we
almost
got
want to ask you, like, what was the biggest thing that he saw all the time?
man, we were there. We were there for when that Dodger fan that opening night. God, I forget what year it was, but the Giant fan got beat up,
Oh,
and
geez.
we were there for that. And he was, but we were there for all kinds of games, World Series
Yeah.
games, all kinds of stuff. So it was a good time. I think he has every autograph you could ever imagine because we would get in like a few
Yeah.
hours before the games, and we'd go up and get autographs and catch foul
Amazing.
balls and
Yeah.
home run balls and batting practice balls. So it was a good time.
That's really cool. We could do a whole episode on that, I think.
Yeah.
That sounds really awesome. So RizeUP Media, CEO, you do have a great story, good background. You left another company. I remember you telling me, like, you went for a run one day. You were like, I'm going to start this firm. Like, and now you guys are doing like tremendous, and congrats on all your success. Just tell us, like, briefly, like what RizeUP Media, like who you work with
Yeah.
and what you offer to those clients.
Yeah, we work with close to 500 different law firms across the U.S. now.
Wow.
Um, Typical law firm that we work with is solo practitioners up to about 10 attorneys is probably our sweet spot. We do some bigger firm work as well, but all practice areas. I tell people we do 5 things well. We build custom websites,
Hmm.
whatever you can dream up, we can make. Once those websites go live, we do SEO work, meaning we get them to show up on the first page of Google. We manage social media for firms. We manage pay-per-click or PPC programs, campaigns for law firms, and we also manage the local service ads or LSAs. Those Google's relatively new, about 3 years ago, they came out with that pay-per-call program. So we really cover the gamut online. We sit down with firms, see what they're looking for. We want to know what you do, where you want it from, and how much of it do you want, and we can figure out what their budget is and figure out how to craft a program that's gonna, at the end of the day, make them money. I mean, that's
Sure.
what firms come to us for. They're looking to get additional clients in the door, and we show them how to accomplish their goals in that manner.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I recently saw you hired somebody to do social media maybe a couple of months ago. And like, so if somebody said to you and like they had a website, but they're like, I need some social media help, is that something you would do?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And you
Whether it's
take,
postings or
yep,
ads or what have you. There's different strategies depending on what they're looking to do. Some people just want, you know, to be active. It's, on their to-do list every day, like many of us, posting on social media falls
yep,
off that list every day. And they go, man, I wish I had somebody I could just go, hey, post something for me every single day or multiple times a week. So it looks like I'm active because I have too much my day job, what pays the bills is not posting on social media. So we can handle that. Other folks come to us and go, hey, listen, we want ads. We want a certain campaign. We want to get in front of a certain demographic for a certain type of case, and we can handle
right.
that.
So do you offer like different packages? Like say somebody wants like, all right, I need somebody to handle my social media. I need a website and I need updates every so often. Like how does that work with you? Like how do you work with those clients that come with you that need like individual service?
Yeah, we have clients that spend $500 a month, and we have clients that spend 100 grand a month, and
Wow.
everywhere in between. Right? It just depending on what they need, and a lot of times, firms don't know what they need. They know what they know what the result they want to happen. They want their phone to ring or, someone to email them with a certain type of case, but they don't know how to make that happen. So they may be so we sit down with them and do a needs analysis, figure out, okay, tell me what you tell me what you want to happen, and I'll
Yeah.
reverse engineer a program that works for you. Because if you're just posting on Facebook or Instagram and you think that's going to get the phone to ring the next day, it's probably not the best way to do it. So we want to know what is it you're trying to do, and everything we do is month to month. So our interests are in line. We want to make, and so with that we got to earn our paycheck every month, right?
Right,
We
right.
need to make sure we're recommending the right stuff, or people are quitting right
So
away.
month to month, like that's big. Like let's talk about that. So you're not like, hey, I'm gonna lock you into like a year, 18-month contract because we need to see how this works. You're like, hey, if you don't like it after a month or 3 weeks, you tell me, like, and that's
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah, and we set expectations, like certain things, like if somebody comes is brand new and they have a website and they're trying to show up in Boston for a personal injury attorney,
Yep.
we're going to tell them, like, listen, based on this budget, it's going to take you a year or it's going to take you 2 years. We're not locking you into that contract, but at least the expectation, out of the gate, what that should take. Now there's other products that's probably more suitable for that example. Someone who just hung a shingle that spend some money on some ads that are going to give you that instant gratification and get phone calls coming in right away, right? So it's
Right.
important that we have that conversation, understand what their budget is, understand how quickly they want to see results, and what their long-term goals are as well, and then we can give them some different options.
That's awesome. So Travis, let's go back to the roots. Like, what inspired you to start up Rise Up Media, and why did you choose to focus on digital marketing for attorneys?
So I worked for a big box store, marketing company for lawyers. So that's what I knew. That's what I know. That's my whole team. Probably the average experience in lawyer marketing is probably 10 to 15 years, and I have 50 plus employees at this point.
Wow,
And
congratulations, Travis. That's amazing.
so a lot we know that area. We get calls all the time from doctors and landscapers and all kinds of different things that um, want us to help them, and we kind of just stay in our lane because that's what we
Yep.
know. That's what we know.
Yep.
Like the back of our hand is, you know, how people search for lawyers, and so we can help them in that that regard. And so I had that experience, and my business partners and I always had a dream since early on, walking into that competitor now. That we knew we could do it better. We knew we
That's
could make a difference, and kind of hand choose the folks that we want to work with, folks that are doing good work, and at the end of the day we like working with. And knock on wood, here we are 5 6 years later, and we are working with near close to 500 firms across the US, and they could all fly away at any moment, but it kind of speaks for itself. If they're making money, we bet that if we were making people money, they wouldn't go anywhere, and
yeah.
it's worked out that way so far.
That's amazing. And like you talk about working with people that have like tons of experience, like 15 years. Like, I know that, and I've noticed that you treat your employees like really well. And I think that that's something that somebody would be drawn to as a potential client. Like, hey, Travis and RizeUP, they're taking their employees away. Like they're doing all of these things to like, honor their employees and incentivize them. And like, what's the culture like at RizeUP Media?
We tell everybody that I don't know if this answers your question, but every employee that walks in the door, I ask them two things. Number one, come here and work hard and have fun, right? I guess that's two things, but also that we want their ideas, right? I heard on a podcast somewhere that your first 100 hires are the most important, right? And that we will pay for great talent, right? And it's just like building a baseball team or a basketball team.
Yeah.
Like, go get the superstars. It's
Right.
worth paying the money for the superstars, and that we want their opinions, that we want their ideas, because we didn't have it all figured out in the beginning, and we still don't. Right? I think we have it pretty darn good right now, and we can kick ass with the best of them. But I hope I'm looking back in 5 years and going, man, I didn't know nothing at that point.
Wow.
That means we got better, right?
Right. Yeah.
So if we're attracting this talent, you're right. We in a month here, a little over a month, we're flying everybody out for a holiday party for the weekend. We're gonna go down to Hotel Del in San Diego and
Really?
break bread, and because we're in a virtual world right now, right? When we
Yeah.
first started this, we thought everybody would be under one roof, and then
Sure.
COVID
Yeah.
hit.
That's right.
COVID hit, and that's changed, and now we have folks in.
And you were good with that after COVID. You were just like, stay put, like you can sort of do your thing. Yeah.
Because it's acceptable. A couple things
Yeah.
positive, and I'm sure a lot of folks who listen to this who own firms can relate to this. What we found is that my talent pool isn't just here in Orange County, California now, right? I can
Right.
find the best of the best in Iowa or Minnesota or Colorado or Connecticut, right?
Right.
And
That's
we
right.
don't have to be under the same roof. And with Zoom and a lot of these different things, we can have our team meetings and really rock it and
So you're
create
going to
best
San
ever.
Diego. Do you consider Lawyer Stories part of your team? No, I'm just kidding.
Let's go.
I'm just kidding, man. So what are the most common digital marketing challenges that law firms are facing today?
I think the biggest two things, piece of advice, is number one is answer the phone. People
Yep.
spend a lot of money and they don't answer the phone. Believe it or not, no one thinks they have that issue. And then we track everything, record all the calls, and let them listen to it, and they realize what their intake's like, right?
Right.
So figure that out. Either hire or outsource it to us if you can't answer the phone. Make sure that's taken care of, and then the other one is spending a little bit of money in a lot of different places. I'm going to spend $500 on YouTube ads and a couple $100 on some directory, and I'm going to put $500 toward my website, and they're spending a decent amount of budget, but they have it spaced out on a whole bunch of different places, thinking that I'm going to figure out what works, and then they never figure that out. So my advice to them is I don't care where it is, like your website or pay-per-click ads or a directory or social media, make sure that works and you're getting a return on investment, and then scale that, right? Okay. And have a repeatable, scalable, trackable marketing campaign that works, and then go on to something else, right? And then scale that one and be diversified. In today's world online, you don't want all your eggs in one basket. You don't want it all just on your website.
Right.
Because what happens when Google changes tomorrow, right? So have Facebook marketing working, have Google ads working, have LSA working, have your website working. So that way, when something changes, which it will, it always does, that your whole ship doesn't sink, right? Just one thing goes down and you fix that or shift money over to something else. Be diverse, just like your investment guy would tell you. They don't say buy all one type of stock and just ride that thing. They say be diversified. And
yeah.
Yep.
So like, I guess something I'm always curious about is like how you get older firms and like older attorneys to come around and like do digital marketing and like upgrade their website and that sort of thing, rather than having that like one page thing that they like click, and it goes like, Looks like something from like when we played Nintendo. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. Usually, the honest answer is what usually gets them to move and try something different
Yeah.
is the young whippersnapper down the street
Yeah.
is now doing it, and they go, "Wait, why are those big cases not coming into my firm anymore?"
Right.
And these guys who I can run circles around in the courtroom or whatever scenario it is,
Right.
are now getting them. And
Right.
usually that's because they were slow to adopt technology. And so now they need to up their game. And we get those calls all the time.
Do
And,
you?
and
Okay.
honestly, it's easier to market for them, right? Because they do have that
It's true.
offline
Yeah.
credibility and reputation
Okay.
and maybe
Yeah.
brand awareness that the new guy doesn't, right? So that's their advantage. So when they do meet someone like me or hire somebody in house or whatever, however they're doing it, they find success relatively quickly because all that networking and hard work that they've done over the years, it will now pay off online, and it translates.
Totally. So how does like digital marketing for attorneys differ than like under other industries? Are there unique strategies that you're using? Um,
I don't know if the strategies are much different, but it's really important when lawyers hire an agency that they know how to market for lawyers, in my
mhm.
opinion, right? Like we don't venture into, I got called by a spine surgeon. I realized really quickly that I don't know that world,
Right.
right? And, whereas someone who does, like if you're a family law attorney, does that marketing company understand that, people are searching different ways? Some people are searching for a family law attorney. Some people are have an issue, or have a divorce, need a divorce and looking for a divorce attorney. There's custody, there's prenups, um,
Right.
all the different facets of that, and that you need to market for all those keywords and all those types of cases to get the types of cases that you want, the type of client that you're trying to get in the door. So make sure that they understand that. And so that's how it differs. Is there's most lay people don't understand how specialized lots of lawyers are, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That if you get in a car accident, you're calling a personal injury attorney. That and all of your listeners would relate to this. I hear this all the time. Attorney would tell me I do DUIs, but yet every Thanksgiving, all my family members go, "Hey, I'm thinking maybe I need a divorce," and they're like, "Dude, I told you I do DUIs,"
Yeah.
or Aunt Edna got in a car wreck. Can you handle her case? No, I don't do. I told you I do
Right.
DUI.
Right.
Or I got a contract that issue. No, no, no. So most people don't realize how specialized lawyers are, and agencies don't realize that, right? And so
Right.
you need to make sure that your folks need to make sure that they're hiring an agency that knows what the heck they're doing in that regard.
And you guys are handling everybody, every type of attorney. Uh,
Every type of attorney. There,
okay.
there we probably have. Yeah, I don't even know if there's a type of law out there that we don't do unless it's super super niche.
So, do you have a certain area that where people are coming from, where you're getting most of your business, or no? Is it
No,
all over?
we're probably in 30 some odd different states right
Okay.
now. We get a lot of word of mouth advertising, certainly. And
Yep.
usually how that works is, we have a firm in New York City and that's showing up everywhere at the top of Google, and people go to the bottom of the website and see the logo and go, "Oh, let's call that RizeUP Media
Yep.
must know what they're talking about." So that's typically how it happens. We'll meet them at a
Oh,
trade show
cool.
or they'll see me on a
Yeah.
podcast or something, and that'll be the start of it. And then we do good work and they show up well, and now we start cultivating that particular market.
So how does it work? Like you guys have like one representative assigned to a firm, and like say I wanted to change my photo, like I got a new headshots or whatever, like I could just call you up, or say I got like a digital badge because I just won like super lawyers or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, do they just how does that interaction go with the people at your firm?
Yeah, uh, every firm has at least 2 points of contact. They'll
Okay.
have an account manager for all the uh, kind of 411 type of issues, add a badge, add a picture, change this font type of
Okay.
thing. And they also have a somewhat local representative that is there to kind of tell you what's next. Always be a step ahead of you of, here's what you should do next. If this is working, here's your next step. And so
Okay.
that there's a kind of local boots on the ground, if you will, of a consultant that will not only handle anything you need, but also help you kind of cast the vision of where you can take this and make sure you're hitting all your goals.
Okay. So then the turnaround times are pretty good, like with the reps and everything. Like they'll
Yeah,
email somebody and yeah.
they'll have direct lines or cell phone numbers
Oh,
for everybody.
it's amazing. That's great. Um, so do you have like a particular like case study or success story, like where a strategy helped a firm out a lot, or like they got like a ton of cases, or you were able to get them to like the one of the first on Google?
Yeah. So there's a ton of them, right? And everyone's heard the ones that I like, certainly the big PI firms that we bring them dozens and dozens and dozens of cases a month are all great. And those
Wow. Yeah.
are common. But the ones that give me goosebumps and what puts a smile on my face when I wake up is the smaller firm where
Sure.
every single dollar counts, right? And we're
Yep.
able to strategize. I've told the story before. One that comes to mind is we had a solo practitioner here in Southern California, had marketed before, not successfully ever, and he came to me did DUIs and had a modest budget, I think $3,500.
Hmm.
Needed a website but needed the phone to ring right away. So with that, I said, listen, your online business card is your website, right? You need to make sure that when your referrals and the people that we're bringing to you, when they look you up, that you look the part, and that it doesn't turn them away. It drives them forward to pick up the phone and call you. So we need to get a fancy brochure online. I would take that budget. I would take $1,000, put it toward that. We're going to lay a good foundation, and
Sure.
we'll be able to ramp that up down the road. But I would take the rest of your budget and put it into some type of ad set, right? That when we give money to Google, that your phone rings the next day, right? So with this particular gentleman, we put him into local service ads, and he does DUIs, and we were able to bring him 17 phone calls, I believe it was,
Wow.
and so that $3,500, he signed up 7 cases, and
Wow.
his average retainer is about $3,500.
Okay.
So I took that $3,500 that he had and turned it into 24.5 in that
Mhm.
first month, and he was pumped, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's amazing.
he's not buying yachts and jets with that kind of money. I get that,
Yeah, hey,
but
it's
that was a
good
great
money though. Yeah, but for a practitioner like that, that's good. You're gonna eat. That's great.
first month. He scaled it since then.
Big
I mean, we're
turnover.
way past that. This was a couple years ago, and
Yeah.
he's doing really, really well now because that was able to give some seed money to
Yep.
now we're able to rank his website, and he could reinvest and really take this thing to the next level. So
So
those are the
important.
guys.
Such a good investment. So important. So like let's talk SEO for a minute. What role does it play in attracting new clients, and how do you stay ahead of like search algorithms and everything?
Yeah. So SEO and a website, the best analogy I can give you is like buying a home,
Yep.
right? And we might have said this on the last one, but it's the best analogy that I can tell people is like your website is going to continue to, if done right, content is added, backlinks, all the SEO stuff is done on a consistent basis. You should see a constant growth in your website, more visitors coming to your website. The more visitors that come to your website, the more opportunity you have for them to pick up the phone and call you.
Okay.
The more phone calls you get, the more cases you're going to get, right? So building the website is is not an instant gratification strategy. It's a longer term strategy, and people need to know that before they get into it. I've heard too many people go, I tried SEO for like 3-4 months and it didn't work.
Hmm.
Of course it did not. Of course it did not. You got to look at your website and doing SEO in 6 to 12 month glances
Okay.
in order to judge failure or success. That's just the reality of it. But there's
Okay.
not a better marketing strategy out there than folks that have done SEO for 2, 3, 4 years, and now are getting thousands upon thousands of visitors to their website, and their investment, their return on investment is 10x from when they started.
Right. Right. Okay.
That's definitely the way to go.
Right. Okay. So, and it's also like a lot of backlinks too. I think you need like a ton of backlinks in order to like rank and have all that. It's
So
pretty strategic.
Google's business model is to serve up the most helpful search result, right? And the authoritative is the word that they would use. And so there's a million things that go into it. There's thousands of things. Two big things. Whoever has the most content wins. If you
Yeah.
have 50, if you're a DUI attorney, you have 50 pages on criminal law and DUI, and I have 5, everything else being equal, you're going to show up before I am.
Right.
Google looks at your website and goes, he knows more about this subject than Travis does.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to serve him up. The second thing is backlinks. It's basically a virtual testimonial,
Yeah.
right? So Google looks at some of these other websites that they deem credible, right? And they go, if they spend their time, money, and resources to get people to come to their website, and they'll put a link on their website pointing to Benny Gold's website,
Yep.
then Benny Gold must know what he's talking about. So
Right.
those are the two things that the main kind of meat and potatoes behind SEO. If you're doing that consistently, and you better know and know that your agency is doing those things and they can point them out to you, you're in the right track.
Right, right. Yeah, because with Lawyer Stories Connect, we have a digital badge that we're giving our members. We want them to kind of connect like SEO, that sort of
Yeah.
thing. We want to have a page on our website for all of our members. We have a page for preferred partners. So we're trying to get our website, updated and continuously updated. So,
Yeah.
I don't know really that much about it. So it's like really pretty interesting to learn about all that stuff. I think I started at the beginning and then I was like, okay, somebody else needs to handle that now. But all right, so talk about online reputation for attorneys, like their management. What steps do you do you take to like recommend? What steps do you recommend to protect like online reputation?
Continuously get reviews. Get
Okay.
reviews on Google, right? When you go to a restaurant, anything these days, we're programmed to check out their reviews, see how many stars they have, what are people saying about them,
It's so difficult, man. Like it's so
right?
competitive. Yeah.
It is, but they say like 60 some odd % of people will give you a review if you ask, right?
Okay.
And and all of us are guilty of me more than anybody, certainly. We don't ask, right? So when you're getting when attorneys are getting phone calls, they're getting good results, that's the perfect time to ask for a review and make it simple for them. There's software out there that will send out text messages or emails with the link to their Google My Business page to leave a
Yeah.
Google review. That's priority number one, certainly, because that's where people are looking. And make sure, and listen, don't be scared of a bad review. I saw some study that like 4.8 or 4.9 is like the best score you can have, right? Because 5.0 looks like it's fake. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like we haven't got a bad one. I'm sure we will at some point. Hopefully not. Knock on wood. But it's not the end of the world. Go find 5, 10 other ones that will leave you a good review and just bury it.
Yeah, right, right. And it's interesting you say that because I'm thinking of this old place I used to live, and I'd go back and look at the reviews because it was just whatever, and you could tell by the cadence of the way that it was written. It was like probably the property manager writing all of the reviews because it was just it sounded so similar. And
Yeah.
even if you tried to like rebut something, it would just be like the same cadence. It was like, come on, you work there, like stop. But I know. I think reviews are super important. I love to get a review on Apple. I mean, I get pumped when I get like an Apple podcast review. So I think that's great advice that like, the more reviews you have, like if there is something negative, that will like cover it up. And it makes you look human too. Like get it. Not everybody's gonna like you, right? Like, so
No.
yeah.
But it's just getting them. It's getting them. It's getting those reviews because people don't know. I tell attorneys all the time, listen, I know in your circle, people may know you, but the general public does not. And so if they're online and they're looking for an attorney, it's a beauty contest, right?
Yeah.
They're looking at websites. They all basically say the same thing. They're looking at your reviews and who has the most and best reviews. And that's typically gonna be the deciding factor. So make sure you're not don't spend all this money on marketing and then have 2 reviews.
Right.
Especially some of these folks have been in business for 40 years and they have 2 reviews. You're like, are they not any good? You know what I mean? That would be what I would. Would you go to a restaurant that has been around for 40 years and they have 2 reviews? No, you'd be scared to death to go there. You're like, what happens when you leave?
Yeah, that's true. So What digital trends or technology should law firms be aware of to stay competitive as we move on into the future?
Well, the topic of the day is AI,
AI,
right?
right?
And
Yep.
don't and as we sit here, what, October 22nd, 2024,
Yep.
you know, don't fall in the trap yet. I'm sure it's coming, right? So this, I don't know how well this is going to age, but as of right now, just don't go write all your content for your website with AI. You're going to get your hand slapped and you're going to get penalized by Google. I'm sure that day's coming and you'll hear it everywhere. But so that's one thing, certainly for social media or blog posts or something like that, maybe just fine. But I think really the trends, the safest way to go is kind of what I referred to last time, is be diversified, right? Don't have all your eggs in any one basket. Make sure you're diversified and you have multiple revenue streams coming in. Whether that's a podcast or whether it's it's TV or radio or a website or Google Ads or whatever it may be. Just don't things are changing so quickly that you don't want to be caught with all your eggs in one basket for
Yeah,
sure.
I think
Make
that's
sure you're
great.
tracking everything. Make sure you know if your listeners are sitting there going, yeah, I think something's working, but I don't know exactly what it is. That's not a good place to be. Make sure you're tracking it. You know where every case is coming from. And you know what? Asking your secretary to ask the person where they found you is not going to do it. Right? People don't remember. They asked their wife or friend or whatever for recommendation, and then they looked online, and then they heard a radio ad, and by the time they got to you, their head spinning, and they go, my friend told me,"
Yeah, right.
and that's not necessarily true. So make sure you're tracking it.
Right, right. Um, so as we can see behind you, you have like Inc. Five. Is it Inc. 5,000 or 500? I think it's
Yeah,
5,000, right?
Inc. 5000. Yep.
So what does it mean to you to be like one of the fastest growing companies in the country, I think, right?
So yeah, so it was super humbling, really. I mean, I remember seeing when we first started out, we're like, God, what would it? Can you imagine if we were to ever make that list, that type of thing? But
Yeah.
it's really just a validation of our team first and foremost, and our clients. I mean, our clients um, are our biggest fans, and they say good things, and we get lots of referrals. So that is certainly a humbling thing, and a lot of pressure to keep it up, to make it year after
Yeah.
year after year. And as you continue to grow, you have to grow in a certain percentage compared to everybody else. And so as your number gets bigger, then that's really saying something as you continue to grow. But it's a really cool thing. It's justification that we made the right decision, when we made the leap. Man,
Oh
that was
yeah. I
scary.
don't even
That
think
was
that's any.
scary.
Yeah. How many years now, Travis?
It'll be five and it'll be six in July. So
Man, you grew fast, huh? You grew really fast.
we were fortunate for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. What advice? Give us all some advice about how to maintain a positive culture in like a working environment. I think it's so important these days to have people that want to work for you and want to perform for you, and like, so why do they want to work at RizeUp and like be a part of your company?
Well, I don't know if this is the right way, but this is the way we've done it, and we put ourselves last, right? And this might sound corny, whatever, but this is truly it. I've told I want all my employees to make more money than they ever had before.
It's awesome.
And that'll because I know they took a chance on us. Maybe
Yep.
maybe now it's not as big a chance because we've gotten some silly trophies and awards and whatever, and we've grown to a certain size, but it's not lost on us that we're not some corporate Fortune 500 company, and people could choose to work anywhere on the planet, right? And they chose to work here, so it's really important that number one, our employees, we make sure they're taken care of first, and as well as our clients, right? We've made a big bet that if when we do good work, they're going to stick around, right? And
Yeah.
it's worked out that way. And we probably we probably um, deliver more than what we're paid for, and I'm
Sure.
okay with that.
Yeah.
Maybe if we didn't, maybe a few more dollars land in our pocket or what have you, and we're a little bit more profitable. But I think if you're just putting everybody else first, and everything works out just fine, and the company is growing and we're profitable, and we'll get taken care of in the long run for sure.
That's awesome. Great answer. Is there anything else we left out that you want to talk about today?
No, man, I appreciate you letting us on here and being a part of seeing you grow. And like I said, we're fans first, and look forward to partnering up with you as we move forward.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate RizeUP Media, Travis. Thank you so much for everything. And please stay right there. Everybody else, thanks for tuning in. Wherever you are in the world today, enjoy yourselves. Cheers.